So, I don't usually cover female villains on this channel, but this one might be one of the most disturbing I've come across. Major Kadmala Shiraz Hareka, at least that's the name circulating online. A woman said to wear two faces. On one side, she's a ruthless commander in the Sudan war, and on the other, a voice shaping narratives around the war. If you've never heard her name before, then it probably means you haven't been paying attention to what is happening in Sudan. We are now more than 3 years into this war, and despite its scale, it still hasn't received the global attention it deserves. Estimates suggest hundreds of thousands have died, with over 14 million people displaced, both inside and outside the country. The United Nations has described Sudan as the world's largest humanitarian crisis today. People are starving, and entire regions have collapsed. Nearly 2/3 of the entire population now depend on humanitarian aid. Is that bad? The warring factions are now fighting without any sense of restraint. You'd remember Abu Lulu from the early days of the war. Well, you wouldn't if you weren't following the war. But he's a madman who took public executions like a sport, and he was praised for it by some. It became a trending topic in the Gulf, a celebrity of sorts, with some Emirati social media users taunting Sudanese with his name, saying Abu Lulu will come for you. His killing spree was so much that his own side, the RSF, who are not particularly known for being accountable by the way, but they had to confine this guy for doing too much of what he was tasked to do in the first place. A very menacing figure. Now we have Major Shiraz. She has been on the front lines playing two roles. She's out there encouraging specific campaigns against women, evil stuff. When conflict is imbued with ethnocentrism, we see the worst form of crimes imaginable being committed. Because for some, it is not just about defeating the opposite side, it's about completely wiping them out. And one of the mechanisms to achieving that is to have her men forcibly have children with their enemies, so they can, as she puts it, give birth to men like the RSF soldiers. Listen to her speak. Just a vile human being, this one. Zero sympathy towards your fellow women. And we've already seen what this war has done to women and children. Many have been violated and killed. We've seen the video circulating on social media. She's asking for lineages to be cleansed by rapists. Then the international bodies begin to notice these crimes. And so, to cover their tracks, they invite Sky News Arabia to basically whitewash the crimes being committed. And who better to lead this propaganda than a woman? The same woman. Side note to the RSF, maybe don't use the same maniac calling for war crimes against women to try and project some image of goodness on your part. The female journalist who covered this story is also rumored to be a wife of one of the RSF's top political figures. So at this point, they are just taking the world for a fool. Now, Major Shiraz is rumored to have been killed in an airstrike quite recently. That may or may not be true. It's nearly impossible to verify information coming out of Sudan. She could be in Dubai right now, for all we know, restocking on more bleaching cream. But in all of this, we have to wonder where exactly the African Union is. Because right now, external powers seem to wield more influence in parts of North and East Africa than Africa's own continental body. Countries like the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia have been widely reported to hold significant strategic interest in Sudan, whether it is in their gold, and Sudan is being milked dry right now, or in trade routes or regional influence. And when outside actors have that level of stake in a war-torn country, conflicts can only grow more complex and more prolonged, and nearly impossible to resolve. This has been Africa's fate since forever now, right? Every country has some type of interest in the continent, and it's always not in the best interest of the continent. Yeah, so Major Shiraz may be dead, but this conflict isn't dying anytime soon. Let me know what your opinions are in the comment section. Consider subscribing. I'll catch you in the next one.